Eternal God, our Father, God, we give you glory, we give you praise, and we give you honor. We thank you for this morning, God. And as we come before the throne of grace, we ask that you give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, God. In the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. All right, so today, uh, make sure I ain't got my volume up too loud. But, got a good message called this thing called life. This thing called life. And if we been paying attention, the message I've been teaching, we started talking about faith. We still got one more to do, but it's interesting. We went to talking about faith, then we went to the anointing, and then whatever we talked about last week, and the other week, I know my memory ain't no good. But I find it strange that if you pay attention to the way the message coming, it should show you he is preparing us for something. You know what I'm saying? Because when we talking about faith and the ability to what we said it was uh, year 2020, whatever, from sound to sight. So when we speak, so when we understanding that he is giving us the ability, we got to make sure our life right. And I think that's what's wrong with most churches. We come to the understanding that we always want God blessing, but before He bless you or attempt to bless you, you got to make sure you're living right, or at least halfway right. We just can't do things haphazardly and think, I sold my tithes, I sold the seed now, and think something gonna come, because we all know, even as the world teaches, if you're a hoe and you get money, you're a bigger hoe. If you're an alcoholic, you get money. What you gonna do? Buy more alcohol. So we have to get to an understanding and mindset that when we pray to God, are we trying to live life? You know, are we trying to do, or we just ain't gotten it no more? So we want to pray to God and hope He bless it because that's what church teaches us. But we got to live right before you start, seeing the blessings come in. So the message he called me with this thing called life, and it put me in the mind where they had that State Farm commercial. I don't know why I keep using it. Life come at you fast, and they trying to get you to get the the insurance. And when they got mayhem, then all of a sudden something just happened. And that's the analogy we're gonna use, or the mindset we're gonna think when we talk about this thing called life. So the objective of this message is going to get believers to understand that you must live your life to the fullness regarding your situations, circumstances, or concerns, which means no matter what goes on in your life, we cannot stop living. You get what I'm saying? Or pay attention to what goes around me. So do anybody understand what life really is to them? You got an idea? Nobody? All right. So that's why we need this message. If you have no clue of what life is to you, you ain't living life. Because in order to live life, you got to have a purpose, a reason, or a circumstance that you are living. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, when we finish, is you got to wonder what your life really is. And one of the acronyms he gave me for life, he said, living in full expectation. That means whether good, bad, or whatever. You get what I'm saying? You got to live your life. If all of a sudden I get broke, I can't stop living life worrying about how I'm getting money. I got to move on with life. Because once we stop and pay attention to the situation or circumstances, we losing life. Promise that we're gonna live forever. Now, whether in heaven, hell, or whatever is up to us. But so while we're in these earth cut off, but then I realized it's my fault they got cut off because I ain't paid the bill. So I'm just gonna sit here and live life. You get what I'm saying? Why? Because I know that now I got to pay these folks. You get what I'm saying? So I can't lose my temper or call down to the place trying to play them like I paid it is in the mail, getting a payment arrangement for a payment arrangement that I already made on a payment arrangement. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to think of life like that. If you know what I'm saying, so what you ain't got a man? This gonna hurt a lot of single women that look at them. But watch this. Why you worrying about a man supposed to have if the Bible teaching don't worry about tomorrow? You ain't getting nothing because you trying to speak what you want and don't even know if God wants you to have it. And see, a lot of us, we got to realize sometimes it may not meant for us to be married or be in a relationship. Nah, so we sneak and get us a little bit here, every now and then. That's on you. But why look for a husband or a wife and God may not want you? So now when we talk about vapor, that's like it ain't as cold as water or not. You get out there and you breathe, you see it, but then it's missing. So watch this. That means in a split second, we can go from living to dead. So the question is, as we living, how are we living our life in a way that it pleases Christ and not us? All right. Created a fourfold purpose. All right. So first, we must understand that without breathing, we ain't living. So breathing for the purpose of this message means that as you inhale and exhale, what you thinking about most of the time. You get what I'm saying? If you're thinking about negative stuff or happening around you, then you're not really living a positive life. So we can't worry about the negative stuff that may come, because when it came at Jesus, he ignored it. So the fourfold purpose was that when he breathed in Adam's nose, first thing he understand when Adam's eyes open, he had life. Even now, if we wake up, if you pay attention, you breathe in your nose and come alive. You don't say, oh, you go, you know what I'm saying? And I'm laughing because I finally paid attention to it this morning. I said, oh, this must be a good message. So the first thing you got to know, he had life, which means he was sitting there formed, but didn't have a purpose. All right. So once he had life, he then on the next thing he had the power of communication, because now when he breathed in his nose, the mouth opened. See, when we open our mouth, we got to, and especially if you call the ministry. I know sometimes when I first started, I used to say some stuff and that, but that all come with growth, because sometimes when you ain't got a person to teach you where God wants you, he had to process you himself, because a lot of time, if you go to churches, ain't too many people really teaching an individual how they operate or what to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just God gonna bless you, sow this seed, wait on your blessing. That's not the point. The point of it all is to teach people that what's inside of them can come out to affect somebody else. So we understood the second thing, he had the power of communication. The third reason was he had to understand the power of acceptance. So when God breathed in Adam's nose, all right, he understood he had life. He understood he had communication. Now he had under the power of acceptance. And what I mean by that, it was nobody there but him and God. See, a lot of times we got to understand when we look at our surroundings and we don't see what we want, we still got to accept it for what it is. You know how they used to say it is what it is? Yep. It is what it is, but in Adam's case, in our case, we got the power to change it because he gave us the power of communication, which means he made us in his own image. You get what I'm saying? Next thing he did it for, he had purpose. Because if you look around, let me bag that up. If you understand that you got a relationship with God, and every morning you wake up and you look around your area, your community, or look around within yourself, your thought should be, what I'm gonna do for God today. A lot of time we wake up and do us. You know what I'm saying? Let me drink me a beer, let me drink this dirty Sprite, smoke me a blunt, then I'm gonna see what everybody get into. God thought don't never cross our mind. So if we say we move and have our being, then it's some in our being should let us know that Christ wants us. You know, so we got to get away from allowing people to say something that is just a religious slogan and nobody really operating in it unless it's something in it for you. All right. So now we got to understand that that's right. The reason many people's lives are void of any constant relationship of who God really is because they have not developed their own personal relationship with Him. What they did, they developed a box of who Christ is, which means you got to look at your life now and say, "Am I religious?" If you come in here or anywhere and you hear God and you go out and you still the same, you haven't really experienced because you ain't paid no attention to what He's trying to say to you. You remember I said consistent relationship. When you have a consistent relationship with Christ, your life can't stay the same. You know what I'm saying? And understanding where I came from, I stayed in projects. I came out the hood. I done stole. You get what I'm saying? I manipulated. I ran the hose. You get what I'm saying? But watch this. That was a stepping stone to up where I'm at now. I didn't talk about no done God. I'm talking about how I'm gonna get me the next dollar or what good who she found. Let me see can I get her. And even then, how much it gonna cost. They called it back then paying at the hole. But watch this. That's what the women was all about. Well, I'm going to the club tonight. At least give me enough to get me an outfit. You get what I'm saying? And it's sad that they selling themselves shorter than what they did back then, but the stuff more expensive. So what I'm saying, we cannot sell out. We always thinking, what if? How come? Suppose I do this. We missing out on life. Cause see, we got to realize certain things that we do that affect our life for the worse. God still can make it better. You just got to change. All right, God, I messed up that time. You know, I'm sorry. I ain't gonna do that no more. And a lot of things I did one time. I got in trouble. No trouble come. I said, "Ooh, you protect me. I won't do that no more." Because that's how you learn. Genesis 3:17 says, "And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shall thou eat of it all the days of our life." Next thing, are you happy with your life? If you sitting there at any time in your life, you say I ain't happy, you messed up. You know how many times you lay in my bed preaching and I lay down and say, man, I ain't happy at all. And I ain't talking about 10, I'm talking about at least 3-4 years ago. I wake up, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, I might read an email, you sure bless me, you know what I'm saying? But and I'm laying there, I'm so unhappy. You get what I'm saying? I was like, listen, it's one thing to give life to somebody else, but you can't even give life to yourself. So why ain't I happy? Because I understood something. What I'm looking for, I couldn't find, evidently. But even then, that should show you that no matter what you're going through, they got used. I got to turn on this computer and see these videos. You know what I'm saying? I was laughing when my wife told me one time her niece, they found me on YouTube, and she said, "Well, tell Mr. Dietrich I went through and liked all this video because he ain't had that many likes." And I'm laughing, but at the same time, that's the purity of it. She think it was about likes. Mm-hmm. To me, as long as the right person see it at the right time, I don't do this to go viral. Now, some of them I look at, boy, they might have 1,000 views. Some of them might have 5, 3, 2. But watch this. You're only looking for the one that need to see it. So if you got a bunch of ones, that's good. But you just want that one because that's what Christ taught. He said, "I'll leave the 99 to go find the one." So we every video somebody want to do, like and share. You want them to go viral. I don't do this to go viral. I do it because he told me to do it. So when we understand verse 3 and 17, he said, "Are you happy?" It says, "We miss God because we miss God best for our life because we submit to the weakness in our life." Which means we rather submit sometimes to things that don't even edify us and we think it bring us joy than submit to the things of God that we know will bring our joy. And see what we really miss and see in this communication between Adam is that, watch this, Adam blessing was discontinued by his wife disobedience. Now, anytime we sure like some of us, we can say no. But when you really love somebody, or you care for them, or you're in a relationship, with however y'all want to put it, you won't say nothing to what they want unless it'll bring them happiness, but you'll be unhappy. It's plenty of things my wife do make me unhappy. But it make her happy, I don't say nothing. I'm not just using this as for example, it ain't that big, but it's just a little small thing. Because what we got to realize, especially in a marriage, what you may think of as inconsistent to them, it mean a lot to somebody else. All right. So that means if I hate something but you like it, then and see that's how men wired like this. He'd rather her do what she wanted to do than say don't do that. Because you know what's gonna happen when you tell a woman don't do it sometimes? Confusion. I'm gonna do what I want anyway. You don't tell me what to do. I'm just saying what I hear. You know what I'm saying? But watch this. Especially when you're in a relationship, if you understand yourself, pay attention to how many times you may tell somebody else what you don't like and what don't do, and how many times they say something to you about what not to do and what don't like. If it's lopsided, you the prideful one and you wrong. You know why? Because I'm overlooking your fault, but you calling all mine out. And we do that. Unknowingly we do that, but we do it. So watch this. So that says a lot for love. Not just women now, men do it too. So that says a lot for the love of someone when they don't mention the insecurities or things that we may do that upsets us, we just let you do it anyway. Then a man to sit back with, and they doing it, and I don't say nothing. So watch this. So by doing that, he cursed the ground, which means it's unable to produce. And this is what we got to understand. When we're in a relationship, if it's headed toward marriage or you're getting married, you got to make sure that you're on the same accord at all times. All right, because for the sake of this revelation, we see the wife actually represent the weakness of our life, which means we understand the wife as the one that giving birth. All right. So if Adam know that Eve gave birth, why damage what I know that can come out of her? But at the same time, if what's coming out of her is wrong, I'm supposed to say something, but I can't say something because I know if I say something, it's gonna cause unhappiness in her life. So a lot of men, and I done seen this, a lot of men, a lot of women, a lot of relationship, a person will be quiet and suffer, but you just don't know because you can't come to agreement. Ain't no blessing flowing. Why ain't no blessing flowing? Because God is not gonna bless a union uneven. So even though we got to think of it like this: if I know my wife doing something I don't like and it vexes my spirit, but she like it, why would God bless me, especially financially? That means if what I don't like about you, you spend money on, why would He bless me with more money knowing she gonna go do something I don't like? It counts as our blessing. You get what I'm saying? It makes sense. So we got to realize that the tree represents the decision we make, because we got to look at a tree with the roots in the ground. They can go long and deep or short and quick. All right. So a lot of time when you gonna make a decision and you know it's wrong, do it and go on about your business. Don't sit there and constantly make a wrong decision and get yourself deeper and deeper. That's like telling a lie. Now you got to cover another lie to cover that lie. You get what I'm saying? And before you root bound, which means you stuck in the circle of lies. All right. So a lot of people's lives are stuck because they would be believing the enemy lies. You ain't gonna never have this. You ain't gonna never have that. And because, even before I did this message, somebody sent me an email. They said I'm tired of being fake happy. My emotions, I'm just sad. Some of that is. And that's one of the things I said. If you're not happy in your current situation, why fake being happy? It stops your life. Now, at a lot of times, even in mine, we don't say nothing because we figure something gonna change. But how long does it take it to change? And a lot of times we get in disagreement is really just a matter of the person not seeing the other person's point of view. So a lot of times, I don't think we had an argument or disagreement. We don't have too many. We ain't had no disagreement in a while because a lot of times I just don't say nothing. Why? Because I made it with myself. I'm gonna be happy regardless. So what I just said, I ain't finna stop my life, and I know what I'm about to say. You ain't gonna understand it, which may lead to a 10, 20 minute disagreement or whatever, and you get mad at. Why should I allow you to get mad? Let me go over here and see where I can make me some more money, which make me happy. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times we got to avoid arguments because they're stopping your life. Cause I got a friend now in Birmingham. I never forget. She told the testimony she was arguing with her best friend over money. That man he ain't make it home. He died. So your last argument was over money, but the friend you love died. You get what I'm saying? So we got to realize we can't just go around harboring hate. The things we pay the most attention to and care about is not bringing us close to Christ. Suppose I was at a conference and I get up there preaching, and you just want to say I got on Donna Karen and I got on Louis Vuitton. That's pride. Christ just said, take no thought about where you at. And I just look at social media sometimes. I'm wearing this Burberry. You name all the name brand stuff. That let me know you ain't got no life with Christ because that shouldn't be a thought. I was sitting at home. He said, Dietrich, when you go to preach, he said, you know what I want you to wear? I said, what? He said, put on you some overalls. I ordered me 3 pairs of overalls. I'm gonna freak them out. Everybody coming in with their big suits and Catholic outfit. Brother Hubbard in there with his overalls and a champion jacket. I ordered one of them. I said, well, why do that? He said, because we in the harvest season. You never know when your harvest comes. He said, so while they dressing for the world, you dressing for the word. Overall, yeah. Man, I ain't had no overalls in so long. And I thought of it. I said, boy, that could be nice too. I said, I wonder, can I get my name engraved? You get what I'm saying? Overall. Why? Because the church had an identity problem. One, how you a Christian dressing like a Catholic? Invite me somewhere and tell me where your church gear. I'm coming right in there with my overalls and my champion jacket and my hat his hat. You know what I'm saying? And I said, why would people do that? He said, because they're scared of their identity. So we got to surround ourselves with name brand goods and all the latest style because we really don't even know who we are. That Jesus said it. What they said when they read, he said, "Take no thought." So how you living for Christ? How you bringing people closer to Christ when your message of how to obtain things in the world? God gonna bless you with a 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom house. God gonna bless you with so many clothes you ain't gonna be able to take the tags off of. But Christ said, you know what I'm saying? What did Christ said? He said, take no thought about what you're gonna put on. Take no thought about your body. So another reason we miss out on life because we're really scared of people's opinions of us. I was talking to my friend in Birmingham, and he met this fine, nice girl. But went over her house, she homeless and stay in her car. But you in church sharper than the mud. You can spend that money on a room every now and then. You get what I'm saying? How many people come in the building day after day, sharp as a tack, and you go home and the lights off? Ain't no water. But you got on your bootleg. What that purse is? That purse called 10 grand. They walking around here with it. I said, I know the words, you ain't got 10 grand. Why you up there at McDonald's making that money, but you on there with them Michael Kors purse and them big name? The minute purse you got, if you bought a real, you could have bought a car.
You told your car on your own.
I'm trying to tell you. Could have. Another thing, we infatuated with looks. So we had to realize, if we look at our life and we really, what he called me to call, we got a life mess. So when we come to church, we all got it together. But when you go out there, you don't know what you're going to eat. You know what I'm saying? I remember that time I was home, I went to church and nobody helped me, but time I left, I'm parked in my car, going over to dinner to give me one. They had them biscuits and gravy with $2. That's what I used to eat. $16 worth of food down. I used to get me a jug of that milk, 2 boxes of cereal, Vienna sausages, and potted meat. It didn't break me, but he was teaching me something. Why? Because had I got some of the stuff I got then, I would have wasted it. And see, we got to realize a lot of time when we keep missing money and not attaining that, is because we haven't grown up to say we shouldn't be doing that. We need to move past that. You get what I'm saying? So when you infatuated with looks, then how can God bless you when he know that you're gonna go spend the money on something to make yourself look? You get what I'm saying? Or see somebody in the store and I ain't have no, they got to put it back. Now keep it up there. Put it on me. You sure put it on me. And then people, especially they looking at you like something wrong. If they lying, and the way I get it, if God tell me to give somebody something, whether they lying, he ain't tell me they lying, or whatever, that's between them and God. I'm just doing what he tell me to do, or what I felt led to do at that moment. At the moment, because a lot of times God don't tell us to do something, but he impressing our heart to do it, and we got to know the difference between that. So Matthew 7:14 says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which lead us to life, and few there be that find it. So when we get to a point in our life that is not about cars, clothes, and hoes, and houses, then and only then we'll realize what a life really valued to us. Because if we look at our life now, most of us working jobs trying to keep some that we really can't afford to keep. You bought the house, but you can't enjoy it because you got to work 2 jobs to keep the mortgage going. You bought the car because you can't drive it because now you got 2 jobs just to pay the note. I know people with new cars now can't even afford the maintenance on it, but you got it. You can't take no BMW to no bootleg mechanic. That got to go on that computer for real. That ain't no 76 Ford. That's a 2017 BMW. And ain't no crackhead mechanic got them kind of tools. I don't care how you eat, the shade trees ain't got them kind of tools. So we gotta look at, what I used to say. Some people need to get a devil his stuff back. So we look at our life now. A lot of things that we have, if we can't afford it, we need to let it go because it's preventing us from living life. We trying to keep up with something that's actually draining us. Cause see, I done talked to a lot of people. I used to say, I can't afford my note, especially when I was in Atlanta. I said, well, take it to the car dealer, tell them you can't afford it, and see what happens. Took it to the car dealer. Well, I lost my job. I can't afford such and such. Boom. He said, well, don't worry about it. I'm gonna give you 3 months to get on your feet. Cause see, now you can't hide no car because they're gonna turn it off. And you gonna have to pay it at least some of it before they turn it back on. So when you ride, I don't know how they do it. So when you park your car for the night and you get in there and that key, It don't say nothing. See, back in the day, we used to put in everybody's garage on the next street over. You had to look for it. No, they just turned them off. I don't want no car like that. I'm glad you got to turn mine on. Matthew 10:9 says, "He that find his life shall lose it, and he that loses his life for my sake shall find it." So what's wrong with some of us? We around here trying to find our life, but neglecting God's life. We walking around here trying to find the shoes, to find his clothes. Who cares if you got material from Israel? They make your clothes out of it. That don't mean nothing to us. You ain't no Israeli. I got a cup at home came from Israel. I just like the way it made. It don't mean nothing. I like that cup. My wife had broke. I finally glued it back together about 2 weeks ago. I just came all the way from Israel. One of a kind. Because that's how they made them. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at your life, is your life reflecting Christ or reflecting you? If you watch this, if you're still trying to get by and living check to check, somewhere in your life it ain't reflecting Christ. Because he said we should have life in more abundance. You know, I was telling a girl the other day, you're gonna spend your whole life a nurse, and I'm looking at the page to say CNA. Why lie? That means you're embarrassed about what you do. So if you're embarrassed about what you do, that means go to school and get some more degree and get on up there. You know, I know a lot of people who start. I know a girl now started as CNA, then she became a nurse. Now she got her own nursing business, plus a CNA. But now she got people working for her. So we got to realize in a job we own, a business we have, every year we should see, okay, what can I do to get more? You know what I'm saying? I lived my life. I think for 6 years I hauled scrap. That's all I did. But every day I got more. Now some days it didn't get that way. But watch this. Even hauling junk in my mind, I got to get more than I had yesterday. But at the same time, I was wasting my money anyway. So now when God allowed me to really get something, I say, okay, I know what it is to save now. I didn't know what it was about to pay bills back then. I stayed in that apartment complex. I don't know if y'all heard it. I stole the lights, I stole the gas, I stole the water, and I stole the cable. But every time somebody moved in and wanted some cable, and I was the resident manager. Hey, so and so want some cable. I said, who? I said, give me $50. I go in there, hit them up. You know, we in the hood. That's survival. Some people, hey, I wouldn't take back none of the things I experienced from that. Because when I look back, it was funny. You get what I'm saying? I said, boy, I was a dog food. But at the same time, it wasn't right. So see, that's why when God comes in your life, when you used to do things and then think about it, now at least you think about it before you do. Even though you might still mess up, at least you think about it. If you think about it back then, you just did it because you did it. You know what I mean? All right. When we want to partake of some halt or maim, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be cast in everlasting fire. So all he's saying there is sort your life out. Then every day before I go to sleep, I think about what I done. If I did somebody wrong, I'm praying about it, and the Holy Spirit say apologize, I call and apologize. If the Holy Spirit don't say nothing, I don't say nothing. But watch this. We gotta, and the reason I really think he's saying we gotta talk about this thing called life, because he knows some of us been poor too long, struggling too long. And sometimes, you know, traveling and teaching people, and I'm wondering how some people can get some instantaneously. Some people take a while, then some people don't get in there. He said because they don't sort their life out. Some people are comfortable with being broke. I got people now I know and stayed in the project when we grew up, and now you are grown and still staying in the same project. You don't want more. Something wrong. So we got to sit here and go home or whatever y'all do. Let me sort my life out. What I need to let go, and what I need to hold on to. Because I was telling, matter of fact, I was telling my son the other day. I said the best thing happened to me when I moved to Atlanta. I really had to stand on my own 2 feet. Couldn't go around mama house on E and say you got $10 for gas. You get what I'm saying? Couldn't go over to Buddy house. Hey, let me borrow $20, knowing I ain't gonna give it back. I had to stand on my own, which means I had to sort my life out. And if we still have things we call crutches to lean on, we'll never live fully on our own. Sometimes living on your own take you to death, natural and spiritual. Because a lot of times, I really believe if God see you just suffering and you don't think you can get ahead, you might as well come on home. Why? You ain't living for me. You ain't trying to really live for yourself. That's what he did to the tree. I kept going around it. No fruit. You ain't doing no kind of fruit. You just here taking up space. You might as well. So with that said, we cannot judge other people's actions based on our understanding, unless you understand or are part of the other person's vision. Like a lot of time when I go in the hood cutting grass, prostitute walk past me. Hey, you want a date? I said no. I said, but get this blower for me. And if you blow that out, I said I'll pay you. Same thing I do for a while. No, let me borrow $1. I said I ain't got it, but hey, grab that rake and I give you $2-3. Watch this, because I can preach to you without preaching to you. And what I'm telling you, I don't want your body, but I'm gonna let you tell you can go to work instead of selling your body. But you know how it is when they strung out on crack or whatever, that Molly now, or they do whatever it is. So watch this. So I might talk about it, but I can't judge the woman selling tail to feed her children. Because if you have nobody in your life speaking life into you or telling you about Christ, they said prostitution over the profession. Let me go over here and sell me some tail. You know. And it'd be sad that I be on social media and they be talking all big and bad. I said, I seen her. Then I go over here and where they skip the game. I said, she over there selling tail. But you talking big on Facebook. And I'm just looking. Why you looking at stuff like that? I say, because you got to realize sometimes when people call you to preach or something, it's too many preachers on that selling tail for preaching the gospel. So I got to know what I said, I won't say nothing, but I know what I'm up against. When they had that back page, it was so many male men preachers on that selling butt. And then now they on that ground. I dare not go on there and look. They don't tell them what's on there. But I know it. But what I'm saying, then when they get caught and outed the excuses that they make, man, come on. How you got the Holy Spirit didn't know that was a gay site? That ain't me. Come on, man. I know that's you. What is Pastor Wood got caught eating that cooch? That ain't me, man. That's your fake. Come on, man. Just say I did it. I'm sorry. Go on. Wilson, that was you.
And looking up at the camera.
So you know you was being filmed.
He didn't care.
He didn't care. So we got to understand that if we're gonna live this life, and we got to sort our life out. So that's all that verse 8 talking about. That means if they hand or their foot, that means if you keep doing stuff that's building up deception and greed in your life, stop doing it. I had to stop being slick, knowing I overcharge people sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Your foot means I had to stop walking in place and I knew I had no business and knew when I got there what I'm going to do. We got to sort it out. Next thing we got to understand, many of us are too old to still have no stability in our life. We are content and comfortable struggling. I refuse. That's what I told my son, my brother with me on the phone. I said, I refuse to let you be a bum. I refuse. He ain't called me since then. Because I got on him. I said, I just sent you $20. You catch a flat. Your mama says she got to spend her light bill money to get you too tired. I said, you inconsiderate. People giving you money to do what you want to do. Then when something happen, they got to go broke to help you. I said, boy, if you don't look for a job, I'm coming down and put a boot on that car. Enough's enough. And what made me mad, I said, you riding around niggas between the five of y'all. Y'all can't even buy a tire. You got to call your mama? I said, boy, you ought to be ashamed. I said, stop letting them make a fool out of you, but because you want to be cool D, you got niggas riding that y'all can't even put gas in the car. You got to call mama you done ran out of gas and five niggas up there looking at your mama. Your mama cool. Get them niggas out your car. Daddy stayed riding by himself. If you could get in the car, because I didn't trust you. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. The same niggas you hang with blow your brains out and take what you got. So we too old. You know what I'm saying? I had to look back on my life. 36-year-old, I'm still doing this. When we gonna grow up? Comfortable living from check to check, place to place. Man, when I first got my first place, I said, ooh, is this what this like? Now, I got the place, but I wouldn't pay the bill. But I got the place. You know, baby steps. You know. Then I had to understand, that's why the wife would tell you now if she was here. That bill ain't due. I said, well, I'm finna pay it because I got it because I never know what happened. So if I do happen to call and got to make a payment rate, they're going to look at your record and see how long how long you've been playing. So what we have is many people are content and comfortable with allowing people to struggle, and we could be their answer, which means why would we sit around somebody and talk about them just because we might be one step up from them? But at the same time, we one check from being bankrupt ourselves. Yeah. So what? They need to borrow gas money. I remember I used to have the car and lift up the seat trying to find some change, put $3 in there now. But that was a lot of gas back then. It is $3 now. You know, 75 cents, 80 cents, $1.10. So $3 get you almost half a tank. Now it get you. It don't even get you a gallon. Well, now we're at $2.27, so you get a full gallon. So a lot of times God won't bless us because we talking about somebody that we really could be a blessing to. Money don't flow like it used to when I first started, but I was always blessing somebody when God said, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. I said, okay. So a lot of times, and even now, if he tell me to give something to somebody and I got it, I said, okay. Or if I ain't got it, I wait till I get it and give it to him. Why? Because he got to see, can he trust you with more before he give you more? Because he'll bless you to let you bless somebody else, but because you all about self, you won't release the blessing. That was wrong with half of the people I know now. God give you 10 grand, tell you to give somebody 200, if that. He don't care about money. We the one care about it. Thank God blessed me one time. I think and my wife, we gave away about $3,500. I said, well, this is who God told me to bless. And she said, well, send such and such and such and such. I said, okay. We did what he told us to do. Some got 50, some 75, because I just did what he said. But watch this, I understood something. He blessed you on the quarter of the level that you was able to receive it. Some were playing for a car, and we came and take care of bicycle. You want a house, but the studio dirty. Principles, you know. So a lot of times we're not living our own life because we are too focused on living our life to please people, which means you've been rejected so much that anything to show you attention, you give it attention. We got low self-esteem, which means what? You buy all the designer clothes because they make you feel good, but you still hurt. I don't care how much your glasses cost. Girl, I paid $70 for these nails. And you a fool, you can do your own. $70 for the nail, the phone bill $45, but the phone bill off. But your nail sharp. Girl, something wrong with the phone. They tripping. You know your phone off. Come on, let's stop lying about stuff. Yeah, I'm Facebook jail. Or my favorite, I'm fasting from the phone. Hey, I was at a conference up in St. Louis. I never forget. I was with this woman, and I don't know how we got on. Said, girl, I ain't got no TV in my house. God told me to fast for it. But you in the hotel room looking at it. You couldn't afford no TV, y'all just said. And she still around here lying to everybody. Took one of the books I wrote, and you going to get up there and start teaching it. I should have outed her tail. I might go find it and do it. Next thing, pride. A lot of people can't live their life because you prideful. You want somebody else's life. I got one. Everything I do, they do. And people, y'all ain't the only one know. They call me, hey, why such and such? Look like he in competition with you. Why he doing this?
He ain't got no identity of his own.
No identity. That my wife said. You ought to say something too. I said, I'm looking at the finance standpoint. And we get this bread. And I like get the bread up there. I do, but yeah. But I'm looking. So when you prideful and don't have your own identity, especially call yourself a leader, what you doing, you contaminating other people's spirit. Because you putting yourself out there as all that, but yet and still you want somebody else got. It's like old guy I know in Atlanta. 2 years ago, you preach a prophet, apostle. Now all of a sudden you don't say nothing. God gonna get you for that. You can't start preaching and then shut down and don't say nothing. You didn't affect the people's spirit. You got to pay for that. Got to pay for it. I don't know how, but you got to pay for it. And see, that's why I try to say, if you ain't ready to preach, don't even start. But like most people, they get in it for the money. In it for the money. They'll save it. Which means the gospel is on the way. You think they got a cure for cancer? Just go to God. You can get cured. I didn't see them kill people. So what we fail to realize, he's really this really one of those messages of okay, you really got to decide me or what you doing. 8:35. For whoever would save his life shall lose it, which means this like it's serving as a final warning. Okay, I've been warning you and warning you and warning you and warning you and warning you. I've been trying to draw you. But this day, okay, you either want me or what you doing. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of us deal with certain diseases and sickness because it's a manifestation of the spirits that we allowed ourselves to be in so long. David was lustful so long that when he finally died, he ain't want no more. Sent them girls in there, they said the king dead. He wouldn't rise to the occasion. Because he was in it for so long. All right, so what we got to realize, are we applying what we hear? Which means, if we go to a church, people listen to my videos, or somebody will come visit here. Do you apply what you hear, or do you take notes and disappear? Because see, the only way the gospel would change you if you understand what it's trying to tell you. All right. But if we just one of them ones and say, oh, he preach good, he teach good, preach pastor, you show preach that, but then you go home and a nigga still sitting there with the PlayStation 4, what's for dinner, and he ain't trying to do better, what you heard, it was no effect. You was one of them rocks they talking about. The word didn't take root. Because see, we gonna be we really in that season. We gonna have to make before God really see. I really understand He wants to bless us because for some of us we gonna be leaving Him pretty soon. I'm finna turn 50. Half of my life gone. You get what I'm saying? So I got to really make some hard choices in my own life. All right. So we got to apply what we hear. Next thing, you got to have respect for the people you listen to. Why listen to people because it sounds good, but you don't respect them? That dumb preacher in Birmingham said that one time. I just looked at it. I looked, he was teaching the people. He said, "Yeah, you ain't got to respect the person, but you got to respect the position." I said, "Niggas, you dumb. What you mean respect the? You ain't got to respect for that means the position ain't there because the position got a set of rules in this Bible that you need to go by. Being honorable. Not doing this, not brawling. How am I respecting somebody's position that I don't respect them? Now that can be done, but you can't tell me I got to overlook their faults because they supposed to be anointed. You know how many people fake anointed? You ain't doing that. Show me some anointing. I'm talking about, and see that's what's wrong. They figure anointing is just a person teaching. That ain't anointing. That's just teaching. You can learn that at seminary school. Anointing is showing the demonstration of the power of God. You get what I'm saying? I'm anointed to do this. Okay, you can be anointed to teach, but it's more than teaching as anointing. When you gonna grow back some ears? You know what I'm saying? When you gonna preach in some signs and wonders have? And watch this. You ain't got to be anointed to do that because the Bible says follow those that believe. It ain't say follow those that's anointed. Signs and wonders follow them that believe, which means all you got to do is believe what you understand. All right. So a lot of times the word won't manifest for you because you got a lot of people sitting on the people that they don't even respect. But you go there because your mama there, your girlfriend there, your boyfriend, or your little daughter dancing on the praise team. Next thing, you know what I'm saying? Are you jealous of them? A lot of people jealous of people they sit up on and listen to. You can do the same thing if you just listen to what they say. It puzzles me sometimes how sometimes I may travel. I say one thing to a person, and then you can see it manifest. Then some people I teach forever don't then have. Girl had been gone like 4 years, and this how I know stuff true because her then fiance was intimidated by things I said. But then when you came back, well, I want to hear her. God told me such. That's okay. 2 days later, sending me pictures through the. Look at that oil coming out of my hand. Because I told her she had to give a healing. I said, now go talk to God about it. And he showed it. Then she was able to walk around I'm talking about fresh, walking around with confidence, going out of town, laying hands on folks healing. Then you ran into a dummy. Stripped all that from you. I want to get. That's what. Just get back on there. You ain't lost it. Just get back where you are. You get what I'm saying? And that's what we got to realize. We'll mess up sometime, but let your journey be toward Christ and not toward a man. Don't stop your life for no man or no woman. Now, we're married now, but if God called me to do something and the wife didn't want to go, bye. You ain't got the power to send me to heaven. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to. Not thinking God would put me in a situation like that, but then I'm so far out there and thinking that a lot of times people understand you might be meant to be married just for a season. And we'll hold on to something knowing it's over. You get what I'm saying? Or we'll stay around because it's convenient. So we got to put our life in perspective. That's why I say we got to analyze this stuff. Another thing, you have people, they think it's easy. Preaching ain't easy. You gotta see me getting text 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And, I might be getting up looking at the veil, and I'm looking here. I want to commit suicide. I did this, I did that. And then now you got to think of what to say after you get to sleep out your eye. But pay attention to the other one. Well, I'm off Thursday and Fridays. I don't take no call. That ain't none of me. If you're a representative of Christ, He available 24 hours a day. Why can't you? Suppose they need you Thursday, Friday, but even then, that's your fault for not trying to teach the people how to be independent and understand God for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And see, and people think when I be on that dumb face, they think I don't know if they're intimidated or scared or fearful, but if you got a leader that don't meet with you and show you your progress, that's not a leader. How he a shepherd if he don't know his flock? Even in the natural, you'll see a sheep. A shepherd got to look at the sheep to see when it's time to go get some shearing, don't he? Or go to the market if they're gonna cut them up. Farmers look at their animals all the time. So how you gonna say you the bishop of my soul, and you can tell me when I ain't giving, but you don't tell me when I'm hurt? Yeah. So the people that listen to me, they was hearing around the way that time, I'd be sitting there and I'd send them that sad face in the inbox. What I did now, or I'm sorry, they go to blabbing. Because they know me. And I don't judge what nobody do, Lord, because I know I did a lot I don't even talk about. But I come from a place of understanding. I said, well, why did you do that? And then my favorite word, that when they get mad, is, well, go to God. I ain't finna make you feel bad about your sin. I ain't finna convict you of your sin. Go and ask Him why you doing it. That's why I say people be sitting up here and listening to these prophets call you to the front. You're a sinner and God gonna do that. That ain't God. Read the Bible. Adam and Eve did the first sin. He didn't broadcast it. He really didn't did. If you read it, he didn't tell him he sinned. He said, "Who told you?" He didn't say you did. He said, "Who told you was naked?" Which means what? To me, you still ain't exposed. Now who exposed you? And that's what we miss it at. We too quick to want to expose something. But suppose somebody tell what we don't tell. Because I know I done did some stuff. Woo. Some of it I still sit around here and think about. So when you come, and like I tell, I'm just like God, no matter what, you did what to get what, I might be shocked, but I ain't going to talk about it. How long y'all did it? Because some of the stuff, boy, that's some of the stuff you hear. That's, wait a minute. In the car, why y'all get no hoe? I don't like no hoe. You don't like no hoe, like? And I'm in my head, you can't get it too good in the car, But, because we got to be honest, if you get to be at least, people call you think about stuff in your head, even though you got to say the right thing, because I'd be shocked. But watch this. Satan come at us any way he can. So what you doing don't mean that you fell from God. That means if you got sense enough to call somebody and ask, that means you got a Holy Spirit that convict you of what you did. So it ain't easy. You think it's easy to be around here traveling from state to state on your own dime, and then you got to, you get what I'm saying, take care of your own bill? No. So we got to realize, where are we in the gospel? Which means, are we going toward Christ, or are we living our own life? Can we take correction without being offended? Which means, if somebody say something to you and you know it's the truth, do you get mad, or do you write it down and say, okay, I got to get better in this area? That's what a leader does. Then he come back around, what's your strengths and weakness? Okay, you growing in this area, but you need a little help now. Stop lying so much. Okay. All I got to do is say okay, because why? if all of us a big family and we're gonna be going to heaven together, a real family don't out other family secrets. Now, because we in the world, we know family gossip about everybody. You get what I'm saying? But that ain't what we do because the Bible teaches us how to handle other people miss out. What it say? Don't. I don't know the scripture, but it's saying that something about cover them unless you fall too. So I can't talk about or down you for what you did because my sin that probably that probably out there for me is coming. So we can't walk around like we better than nobody else. Next thing you got to understand, how do you or can you support those that teach you? And see, we got to get out of what I can't do. What can you do? Sometimes people say, "Well, brother Ho, I want to mentor you. I want you to mentor me." That's okay. And I was praying about it. I see you $100 a month for helping me out. That's okay. The key word I send. I ain't say what you gonna give. You get what I'm saying? That's how I know when somebody listen to the spirit. Because all these other every video you see, cash out me at givemeyourmoney.com. PayPal me at I want it all. But what Jesus said when he sent us out to preach, he don't take nothing. You get what I'm saying? Because that's how you know when you really call it on. When I first moved to Omaha, credit bad, no money. My friend Woody, he paid my way and paid the hotel. He said, I want you to come in and preach. But when I got up there, I said, I wish I could stay here. Well, you want to move here? I said, man, I ain't got no money. He said, I'll let you know in the morning. If Woody was here, he'd tell you, I kid you not. He talked to his wife. Okay, we finna find you a place to stay. Put it in his name. You know, wife ain't quick to do that now. A nigga. Paid the deposit, paid the first rent, and had me the keys. He said, okay, pay me when you can. If I ain't mistaken, I think they put the furniture in there. The first furniture I had, but I ain't like that. I had to get it to my liking. And I paid him. Paid the rent every time. Then I think I scared him. I said, okay, I got to go to Mobile. I'm going to move down here. I went to Mobile. I still paid the rent for 3 months and wasn't even staying in there. But what I did, because that white man rent, I knew he was slick. I said, on the last day, you and your son move the furniture out of there. I left my furniture in there because I was paying rent even though I wasn't there because he'll try to rent it out. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm sending you my rent and then you're going to try to double rent me. Sure did. Every month I sent it to him like clockwork. I'm saying it. So now, like I try to tell people, if God wants you to do something, your provision now, you just got to get there. When I came here, me and Wood was staying at the hotel, and he told me to move here. I'm looking for somewhere to move. He said, I told you to find a place to have church at. I said, I'm looking for something to move. Then I came back, we were looking for a place. I came back and I typed in there, trying to look for, I heard him clear that he said, you ain't going to find nowhere to stay until you find me a place to church. I found the old buddy on Orange Avenue, went around and gave him the money. Wood, we came back. I ain't no more then. I said right there, I said, yeah, I'm moving here, but I ain't got a place to stay. He said, we getting a brand new place, 4-bedroom. You can come stay with us. Just met him. Didn't know my last name, who I'm from, where I was a killer, rapist, or that. You get what I'm saying? But the problem is, you can feel when God doing something because I understood the connection. Now they divorced, but me and him still friends, me and her still friends. So we got to realize a lot of time when God wants us to, when I moved to Atlanta, you can't afford that, that's high. And I'm looking, then I heard the Holy Spirit, he said, you got to worry about what it costs? Don't even go. My friend then, Veronica, hey, I'm finna move to New York, come take over my place. Just pay the rent and the utility. You get what I'm saying? I done moved all these places, didn't cost me a dime. All they said was take it over. Or got it for me. So why I got to sit here and beg for you to give me some when the Holy Spirit talked to you like he talked to me, I hope. So that leads us to we got to be accountable to somebody spiritually
Mhm.
in order to know if we spiritually growing. We just can't be running from church to church and we think we hear a word for our spirit from some prophet. Because watch this. The word can be in season for you, but it's not meant for you. What that mean? It speak to where you're going, but it ain't for you because it's not going to grow you then. That's why I try to tell people a lot of weight people got is spiritual weight, which means you done went to this conference, this revival, you done heard something, and you got in your spirit, and God didn't say it because the end result was, now let me get this money line over here. If you want to know if a prophet really speaking of God, watch the end of what they teach. If the end of they teach lead to money, guess what they in there for? Money. Because if you read what and see, that's why people are so deceived. They'll read for themselves. If you read this Bible, most of the time when the prophet came in to give a word, the prophet had the provisions. They brought the food. They brought the blessing. They didn't ask for it. When what's the name came to eat with what's the name by David, he brought the meal. And what he said? What the other one at? Next thing we gotta know to help our life, can you hear God? What our prayer life like? Non-existent. Because if you had a prayer life, you should have a prayer journal. Because what you gonna do? You gonna write down what God told you, and as it manifests, you need to check it out. But watch this. How you know what God leading you if you ain't got no record of what He done told you? So that means a lot of us just wandering around church to church, mentor to mentor, pastor to pastor, and we ain't got. See. This Bible is a blueprint of what God telling us, and we got to see it manifest. So if we get an individual relationship, why we ain't writing that down? You get what I'm saying? All right. So, and the last thing we need to understand is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. It said the whole duty of man is to please God. If we pleasing people more than we pleasing God, then we don't have a relationship with God. That's with brothers, sister, wife, mama, auntie, because the word teaches us when that Holy Spirit really gone, He cut us away from all that. Don't it say it? I bring the sword. You gonna be with mama and sister, nobody. So we got to realize that in this thing called life, if our life is not reflecting Christ, we really ain't living. All right. Any question? As we narrow it down. No question, Mr. Bunyan?